Okay, welcome back. We're going to cover quickly how to add a blog to your site now. I realized that I hadn't really covered that prior to this, and obviously WordPress is known as a piece of blogging software primarily. That's what it was built for. It's now become used to build far more complex sites than just a blog, but the blog facility is part of WordPress, and it's probably something that a lot of your clients may want to incorporate into their sites is a blog facility. Now, the advantage of running a blog, of course, is that you're adding new content to your site all the time, and therefore Google is indexing that content, which helps with your search engine listings. So it's a really good idea to encourage your clients to run a blog if they can. Okay, so let's have a look at it. First of all, what we're going to do is just create a page, and we're going to create a new page called blog. That will then add the navigation automatically to the site, of course, because that's how I have it set at the moment. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything other than just create a page called blog. And if I now go back and refresh this page, we should see that blog has been added. There we go. If we click on that, at the moment it's just a blank page. There's nothing there. Okay, so now if I go back to the WordPress dashboard and I go to settings and reading, and I set my post page to blog and save those changes, that will then automatically become my blog page. Now you see that it's automatically put in a sidebar and it's showing one of the blog posts. Now that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is you can just add a component. Let me just quickly show you on here. Add a container, click an element, and then you can add the blog element onto the page, and therefore you can change the settings there. So that's a different way of doing it, which you may want to look at. But for now, let's just do it the default way. Now you'll notice that in the right-hand side here, we've already got links to recent posts, recent comments, archives, and a search box. That is all controlled in the widget area. So if we go to Appearance and Widgets, and we look at the blog sidebar, let's just take out the search box, take out the comments because we're not running comments, and take out meta. Then if I refresh the page, we see that this has changed slightly. We've still got our single blog post. Now that blog post is there by default. That's one that is created when WordPress itself is installed. So let's just get rid of that. Now if we go back to the front end and press refresh, it's all going to disappear because there's nothing there. There's no blog posts. Okay, so add new. Let's create a new blog post. And I'm going to call it my first post. I'm going to type in some text. At the moment, there's a category called uncategorized, which is the default category. So obviously with a post, you can categorize a post. And a post can be in one or more categories. You can put it into multiple categories if you like. So if you have a lot of blog posts and you're posting information about, let's say, recipes, for instance, you might want to categorize all of your recipe posts in a category called recipes. And then you might want to categorize all of your posts about walking in the countryside in time off, or whatever category you want to create. You can then put your posts into those categories, which helps users find it. Now I always think that it's nice to have an image associated with a post. So let's just select one of the images we've already got uploaded, and I just created that as a featured image rather than put it into the text itself, which you can do incidentally by clicking Add Media. You can just put it into the body text itself. I prefer to use it as just put in as featured image because the system is set up to nicely display that featured image, which I'll demonstrate here. If we now refresh the page we'll see that there's the first blog post. Now, at the moment, the way this is set up is to show it in a grid view. You can go in and go to Avada theme options, and go to blog, and this will allow you to change the styling of the blog. So let's say let's put it in timeline, because that's quite an unusual one. You can set the pagination, you can have it on infinite scroll or a load more button, various different settings that you need to go in and have a look at and play around with until you find a setting that works for you. Okay, so this is now a timeline. If I now go in and add a new post, so we start to build a number of posts in here. So my second post, spell second correctly, put in some more text. Incidentally, if I wanted to add a category, I can do so on the fly. So as I create the post itself, I can just add a new category in here, upload another image, set the featured image, and publish. Now, incidentally, the blog posts are something that it's more likely your clients are going to be doing this, so you will probably have to learn how to do it so you can then subsequently train your clients to do their own blog posts. Okay, if we refresh that now, so you see now they're appearing side by side. These icons here, incidentally, if I click on this, it will link through to the post itself. If I click on this, it will show me a bigger version of the image, which I do not like, actually, so I turn that off. I go to Avada theme options, then I can scroll down to, I think it's the advanced section. Let's just go back while that's loading. Okay, this is taking a bit of time. Sorry about this. It will get there eventually. Okay, so we're back to the two blog posts. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down to, I think it's advanced or extra. Let's have a look. The page is still loading at the moment. Okay, it's in extra, and if we go to featured image rollover, click on that, and then we can set the image rollover zoom icon to off. Save that and refresh. So now what we have is a link only through to the post itself. Incidentally, this color overlay is set in the same place as well, so you can change that overlay color in that same place. So if I now click on the post itself, what I'm now seeing is what's called the single post. So I've gone into the post itself. Now you notice that the featured image has gone. Now we can put that back by going back to the blog setting and blog single post. We can set the featured image to on and save the changes. Now if I refresh, there's the featured image. Now you notice that we're not seeing any navigation. That's because it's set to white. And obviously when we were on our home page, it's still there incidentally, the navigation, it's just that we can't see it. But when we were on our home page, the navigation was sitting nicely over the top of the image. So what we probably want to do here is to go to header and header styling and change the header background color to be a darker color. So let's make it not quite black. So now if we refresh, there we have it. So now we have our header in place. And the other thing that I will cover in this section, which I realized I haven't really covered, is the footer. Now, if you remember, the footer I mentioned was above a copyright section. So this, even though it's the same color there, I've set it the same color, there's actually two different sections. Now obviously in theme options we've got a footer styling option, and we can have a number of columns in the footer, anywhere between 1 and 6 columns actually. By default, or at least the way I've got my system set up when I imported all that code, I've just got one footer column. Now that is reflected if we go to Appearance and Widgets. I'm just going to come out of that so I can demonstrate this to you now. You'll notice that we've just got one footer widget listed, and that's where I put the modal privacy policy there. Now if we wanted to insert more content into our footer, let me just put some content in here actually. Let's just put a text block. You can just lift these widgets up and place them into the footer. So let's just say, let's give it a title of Contact and put some text in there just so we've got some content. So I'll save that and refresh the page. Now what we should see is that we've got a widget going in there. Now it looks to me as though the footer is set to 100% width, so that's going to stretch. Okay, yep, so that's stretched with the so it's outside of the grid. If it was in the grid, it would finish here and here. So that is a setting that you can change if you prefer it to be in the grid. But let's say we wanted to have a few more columns in the footer. Let's go to Avada Theme Options and Footer and set the columns, let's say 3 columns. Okay, now if you wanted to change the footer width to be in grid, we can just turn 100% width off. And there are various other settings that you can determine here. So the padding, the spacing, the background color, obviously, the typography, the text color, the headings color, all sorts of things can be set in the footer theme options. So now if I refresh that, you'll see that it's gone into the grid, and the copyright's gone with it as well. Incidentally, it's controlled in the same way. But if we now go to Appearance and Widgets, what we should find is that we've got a couple of extra footer widgets in place. There we go, footer widget 2, footer widget 3. So now what I might want to do is to drag perhaps some social media icons in there. So let's say that we want a link to Facebook. That would be the Facebook URL that you put in there, incidentally. I'm just going to put a bit of text in there just so it shows the icon for now. LinkedIn, maybe Twitter. Okay, so we'll save that and refresh. So there we go. We've now got some social media icons in there. I'm not sure why. Just move this underneath and refresh. Okay, so that was it. I had my custom HTML above this one, so it put in an extra bit of spacing. Now that's probably too tight to the edge there, in my view. So I'll go in and change that in a minute. But one more thing, let's put in what should we have? Recent posts. Let's find where recent posts is. There it is, recent posts. Okay. So if I now put recent posts into, I can determine how many I want to show. Let's say 3. Refresh that. So there we go. Now we've got 3 columns in there. These are linking straight through to the blog posts. Here's our social media links. And I'm just going to change the spacing slightly. So we'll go to Avada Theme Options. And footer styling. So we've got the footer padding. We've got only 10 pixels at the moment. So let's make that 40 pixels at the top. And refresh that. And there we go. So now we've got a bit of extra spacing in there, which just makes everything look a lot nicer, I think. Okay, so that's the footer. That's how you put widgets into the footer, or content into the footer. And that's it for this module.